we've got a number of ski areas that do offer night skiing as well. Schweitzer's got night skiing, but that's more of a like budget price product in a limited area of the mountain to help, again, people with not as much means to get on the mountain. But the Little Ski Hill does night skiing, Rotorua does night skiing, Pomerelle and Kelly Canyon.
So if you buy a daytime lift ticket, start at 10 in the morning, can you ski all the way, or is there a nighttime?
It ends at 6, so you can only ski from 9 to 6.
Oh, geez.
If you can ski longer than that, Craig, I have no more power to you.
And so do you buy a second lift ticket from the 6 to 10? Or?
If you could, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, but I don't think we sold a single one of those. You could, I think we do an upgrade or something that's minimal if you wanted to do that, and I don't think we sold any to speak of. We used to extend it all the way to 10 and then realized that probably that ticket was just being passed to somebody else that used it at night, so we cut it off at 6. And no, I'm not a single, we did that last year, I didn't hear one word about it. Not one person ever mentioned it to me, so.
You guys have been super creative with all the different pass products that you're offering, and that kind of started to originate during COVID, right?
Yeah, you know, what happened with us and many ski areas is COVID pushed people outside. And we saw a lot of people that had stopped skiing maybe a year or two or 10 years ago that with COVID started skiing again. And it was this reinsurgence that was like, it was unbelievable. All of us were baffled by it, and this is nationwide. In fact, as proof of that, the visits, the ski visits for the nation set a record last year at just a little over 61 million visits last year for the country. This year we're 64.7 million visits. A huge increase and a huge number, and it's still being driven by that COVID bump, which really tells me that those people that quit skiing started and they like it. You know, they didn't ski and now they realize boots are more comfortable, skis are easier to ski, there's better grooming now, the lifts are faster, you can buy a season pass for very little and go to a bunch of different areas. The big season passes are really driving visits. There's no question about it. The big boys are helping move that needle. What they're not doing is helping create new skiers, and that's what we're all for. I mean, that's what us independent ski areas are around for as well. But what we did is we saw the same kind of increases locally. And the Boise metro area, we call the Treasure Valley. It goes from Caldwell to, well, Mountain Home. So a pretty big swath. It's about 800,000 people. We saw this big uptick as well. In fact, it got to the point where we had to cut off ticket sales on weekends and holidays. And we even cut off season pass sales because we were fearful of the number of season pass holders that could come up on a given day. And so with night skiing, it offers us something that if you don't night ski, you can't offer, and that is spreading people out over that 12 and 13-hour period. So when you go to a traditional ski area, in the morning is when you have the highest level of people arriving, of course. Everybody comes between 8:30 and 10:30. So that's when your traffic jam is, that's where your long lift lines are. So everybody arrives in, and then everybody leaves at between 3:30 and 5. Well, we had the same problem, even though we had night skiing, but we never really leveraged it in this particular case. But with COVID, we really wanted to spread people out. Obviously, that was the whole 6 feet, remember? So we said, okay, well, our night ticket used to start at 4 or 4:30, and so we moved that start date to 3 o'clock, and we changed the night name to a twilight ticket. So now people could come up a little earlier in the day. We know that traditionally people are leaving, that arrive in the morning by 3 or 4 o'clock, so you have this exodus, you have parking spots opening up, and so you have people coming up at 3. And it was profound during COVID. We would see because I was out in the lift lines asking people to pull their masks up. You'd see this surge in the morning and kind of a leveling off, and then about 2 o'clock it would start to diminish. And then all of a sudden at 3 o'clock, you'd see this surge of people in, and the lift line would build up. And we knew it was new people because we had to tell those people to pull their masks up again. So it was a completely new group of people that they didn't want to wear masks either. So so that worked. So that we saw that, we go, boy, that worked great. So post-COVID, we used that knowledge and that ability to move people around, and so we really leveraged the ability to do that with season passes. So now we sell a traditional season pass that's good from opening to close during the day, 7 days a week, holidays, and all the rest of it. That's our premium season pass. Then we offer a twilight season pass. Well, our regular season pass is $349. Call it $350. That's the anytime, which is a bargain and a half. But so we know that in order to encourage people to move off of, everybody would like that pass. If you offered that pass, everybody would take it if money was not an object. So we created the Twilight Pass for $139. And so now you come up at 3 o'clock, which still allows you to go and ski the entire mountain. It's still light, the sun's still out, the lifts don't close until 4:30 on the backside. So you have an hour and a half to go ski around the whole mountain before we close one backside lift, and then you're relegated to the front side and chair 3. So we did that, and that worked amazingly well. We also looked at midweek, and traditionally we sold around 750 midweek season passes. And guess who bought those traditionally?
Retired. That's old parts.
Exactly. Retired people.
Old parts.
Yeah. So that was that. We couldn't budge that. It just like it was what it was. The discount from a full season pass to a midweek was not huge. It was maybe $50 or $75. But if you're retired, you don't want to ski on the weekend anyway, so you buy it. But we thought, well, what happens if we really reduce that midweek ticket to something that is really, really great deal, knowing that the market has changed? Because now, what are people doing? They're not going to the office anymore. Well, not in the same numbers. So we took that midweek season pass from, call it $300, and we moved it to $199. And so we went from 720 to 6,200 midweek passes. That difference that in between 700 and 6,200, we're skiing on weekends and holidays. So we effectively shifted that group midweek when we can handle them all the time. So that helped our midweek, our weekend and holiday business. And then the twilight moved people to the after hours when we could afford to have them or deal with them well. And then last year, we have been selling out of that twilight pass. We capped it at 6,200 because we didn't want to overcrowd the place at 3 o'clock now instead of 9 o'clock. So we cut off that pass at twilight. So last year we initiated a night pass from 6 to 10, and we sold about 3,000 of those. So now we're spreading people out from 9 to 3 to 6 to 10. And what we saw on the mountain was absolutely remarkable. And I've been at this business a long time, and I finally feel like we cracked the code on this, because what happened is we had very reasonable lift lines even on our busiest days. We had a busy day for Bogus Basin, used to be about 7,000 people from opening until closing. We did 2 days around 9,200 last year, which if we operated like we had before, it would have been a mess. We would have parked out, we would have had people upset at us, we would have had really long lift lines. But at 9,200 people, we did not park out, we did not have long lift lines, and we had generally really happy people because we weren't packing the place at one time. Because those 9,200 were spread out over a 12-hour period. I don't think it could have worked any better. So You know, when I talk to other ski areas that are near urban areas, I'm a huge advocate of night skiing because it really allows you to do it. And oh, by the way, that night season pass, we were open over 100 nights last year. It's $99. The day, to buy one ticket for nights is only $19. So again, that affordability, that's part of our mission. We live, eat, and breathe that message. And so it's super important that we can offer those kinds of programs.
So I need to have you talk to some people who can. You know, they had lights up there for decades and decades. They haven't turned them on probably in 25 years. And they're just, you know, when people ask about it,
Craig, they only have 2 million people within 45 minutes.
I know, yeah. And they all want to come up there on a Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we're gonna have to close.
Just real quick, your parking lot was a huge improvement.
Yes.
Well, thanks. It helped. We paved our parking lot this year. That was a huge improvement. Yeah, I think of all the things we've done, new lifts, new everything, I think we got the best response when we paved the parking lot.
This room will be taken over by a caucus here in a few minutes. So.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming.
Hey, Bubba.
Thanks. Good seeing you. Jeez.